A straw bale barrier is a temporary linear barrier constructed of straw bales. This type of barrier is designed to intercept and slow stormwater runoff. When possible, place the straw bale barrier along a level contour with the end of each row turned upslope to prevent flow around the ends. Clear the bedding area of the straw bale of obstructions, including rocks, clods, and debris greater than 1 inch in diameter before installation. Install the temporary straw bale barrier approximately parallel to the slope contour. Place the straw bales in a single row, end to end, and keyed or trenched into the slope as indicated on Standard Plan T52. Place the straw bales in a manner such that the binding wire or string is not in contact with the ground. Securely anchor the straw bales in place by driving 2 stakes through each bale. Drive the first stake in each bale toward the previously laid bale to force the bales together. Ensure that the tops of the stakes are driven flush or trimmed to a maximum of 2 inches above the straw bale. Angle the last 6 feet of the temporary straw bale barrier upslope. Provide a 3-foot setback for straw bales placed at the toe of slopes. Do not use straw bales in flowing streams, channels, on paved surfaces, in lined ditches, or for drain inlet protection. Be aware that straw bales fall apart when left in place for extended periods of time and require routine inspections. Inspect straw bale barriers during the rainy season weekly, prior to and after rainfall events, and at 24-hour intervals during extended storm events. During the inspection, the contractor's water pollution control manager should check for the following. Check the level of accumulated sediment. Ensure that excessive sediment is removed when it reaches 1/3 the height of the barrier. Recommend that hydraulic mulch, straw mulch, or another BMP is installed upstream to reduce sediment in runoff. Check if erosion behind the straw bale barrier is caused by concentrated flows. If so, place cross-barrier check dams behind the barrier and make sure that the barrier is along a level contour and that stakes are angled toward adjacent bales so that they are held down together. Check the bottom of the barrier to ensure that it is properly keyed in. If not, reinstall straw bale barrier by trenching and repositioning the bales and backfilling the trench. Check the length of the slope draining to the straw bale barrier. If it is too long, shorten the slope length using fiber rolls or equivalent. The slope should be 100 feet or less. Determine if there is sufficient area for ponding. If not, make sure that the barrier is installed with at least a 3-foot setback from the toe of the slope where possible and divert flow at the top of the slope. Check to see if erosion occurs around barrier ends. If so, turn the ends of the barriers into the upslope area. When checking the bales, if the bale binding is degraded and breaks, replace the degraded bales, making sure the bindings are parallel to the ground. Check to see if the straw bale barrier was installed along a level enough contour. If not, reinstall them so that the change in elevation does not exceed 1/3 the height along its reach, or install cross barriers. Determine if the slope draining to the barrier is too steep. If so, shorten the slope length to 30 feet using fiber rolls or equivalent and increase the setback of the silt fence from the toe of the slope. If straw bale barriers are installed in concentrated flow areas, replace the barriers with a proper BMP, such as a check dam if appropriate. Maintain temporary straw bale barriers to provide sediment holding capacity. Replace straw bales when the binding fails. Replace broken or split stakes. Repair sagging or slumping straw bales with additional stakes or replace. Remove accumulated sediment when it exceeds 1/3 the height of the straw bale above ground or when directed by the resident engineer. Repair or replace temporary straw bale barriers on the same day the damage occurs. Correct locations where rills and other evidence of concentrated runoff has occurred between or beneath the temporary straw bale barrier. When no longer needed, remove the barrier and accumulated sediment, and then clean, regrade, and stabilize the area.